In this video, we'll take a look at my fingerstyle arrangement of Moon River. This one is an easy beginner level arrangement. So let's start off with a demo and then we'll move into our lesson. If you're enjoying this arrangement, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician, a composer, and a ukulele teacher, and I hope that you have fun exploring my channel, my song tutorials, and my arrangements. If you'd like to download the tabs for Moon River, you can do so from my Patreon page, along with my book of tabs covering all of the arrangements that I've shared on my channel. You'll find the link down below in the video description. Now we're moving into our tutorial, and I want to point out that this arrangement is for low G tuning. In this lesson, we'll cover the fingering and rhythm of the more difficult sections. The first thing I want to point out is that this arrangement is in 3/4 time. That means every measure consists of 3 beats, or 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So starting off in measure 1, we're going to pick strings 4, 3, and 2 together for our first chord, and you can use either your middle finger or your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3. In measure 2, we have an A minor chord using our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then we have our melody note on the 5th fret of the 1st string. We'll play an arpeggio or a broken chord through all 4 strings, with the 1st string ringing out the loudest, as that is our melody note. Then we'll lift up our pinky, placing down our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now for an easier option, you can skip the A minor chord and simply play only the melody notes. So starting on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and then going to the 3rd fret. Keep this in mind throughout this melody. For easier options, you can always skip the chord and play the melody note only, which will be on the string closest to the ground. The rhythm for measure 2 is 1, 2, 3. In measure 3, we have an F chord. So here we have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. For our melody note, we're going to place our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then we'll lift up our ring finger to play the open 1st string. Then we'll place our pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then we'll lift it up to play the 1st fret. The rhythm for measure 3 is 1 and 2 and 3 and. In measure 4, we go back to the same chord that we played in measure 1. We hold this for 2 beats, and then we play the open second string. So here's an example of an easier version for measures 1 through 4, skipping the chords and playing the melody notes only. And I'll include the count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In measure 12, I want to point out the fingering for our first chord. Here we have our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string. Keep in mind that our melody note is on the 2nd string, so when we play this arpeggio, we'll play the 2nd string the loudest. Then we're going to lift up our ring finger, playing the open 2nd string, and then we'll play the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, where our middle finger is still in place. The rhythm for measure 12 is 1 and 2 and 3 and. And keep in mind the easier option, which is to play just the melody notes and not the chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And now we'll finish up by looking at measures 30 through 32. So starting with measure 30. We're starting with the open 3rd string. Then we're using our middle finger to play the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then we'll lift it up to play the open 1st string. And then we'll use our ring finger to play the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then our index finger to play the 1st fret of the 2nd string. The rhythm for measure 30 is 1 and 2 and 3 and. Measure 31 is played the same way as measure 4. 1, 2, 3. And then we move into measure 32. This measure is similar to measure 30, but instead of starting with our open 3rd string, as we did in measure 30, we're starting with the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then we're going to our open 3rd string, and then up to the 1st string, just like we did in measure 30. So here's the rhythm for measure 32. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now let's look at the count for all 3 measures together. Measures 30, 31, and 32. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. I hope you enjoy learning this beautiful arrangement of Moon River. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.